We're about 3 minutes away from the start of the Texas Tech News Conference. Media in the back if you want to prepare for that. We do have some more housekeeping items to mention as we wait on the Red Raiders. Transcripts. Of course, the transcripts are going to be on the table here in the media workroom. However, you can go online and grab them from ncaa.com/transcripts. Okay? Satellite coordinates for all the TV people. If you don't have them, here they are. Galaxy 17, slot C, as in Charlie. The data rate is 11.914, and the FEC is 5/6. Okay? Another reminder, no video of any kind should take place in the interview room. Cell phone, camera, whatever. Please silence cell phones when you come into the interview room. And if you're accustomed, please wait for the microphone and then state name and affiliation when you ask your question. And it might be best if you could direct your question to specific student athletes. Hey, and one other note, please no flash photography, okay? Still photographers, when you come in the room, no flash photography. Still waiting word of Texas Tech. Haven't heard if they have left the locker room yet, but they should be here shortly, I would think. Believe it or not.
All those checks sound the same, Charlie. Never forget that. Like being on the radio. You're building your brand. Every time I go through radio, you're building my brand.
That's what's happening? Okay, we have received word the Red Raiders are heading this way. So media in the workroom, they should be on stage in just a bit. They're here. Got your name on the back. Ready to begin our afternoon interview session with the Texas Tech Red Raiders. We have 4 student athletes with us from Tech, Zaire Smith, Justin Gray, Zach Smith, and Keenan Evans. Again, please raise your hand for the microphone, state name and affiliation when you ask your question. Guys, thanks for coming. First question will be on the extreme left, your left, by the light.
Carlos Silva with the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. Zaire and just all the Dallas guys, what's it like just to kind of come back home and be able to see some friends and family, and just kind of, if all 3 of you could just kind of speak on that real quick.
It's very exciting. I'm just glad to be home, but I just came here to play basketball.
Yeah, I agree with what he said. Just exciting, good to be home. Don't really get to see too much friends, family. Been pretty busy, but glad to be here.
What it's all about, playing in front of friends and family, so it's a big deal.
Okay, let's move over to the right side here on the outside aisle.
Adam Grossbard, Dallas Morning News. Zaire, how do you feel your game has developed your freshman season?
I feel like it developed a little bit because I've been working hard on it, and you work hard, it translates.
Other questions? Okay. Here on our right, toward the middle.
Zach Smith, Stephen Hawkins, with the AP. Talk about just being back and what the time away from the game was like for you this season, and know how different are you and how rested maybe are you now going into this final stretch?
Being away, it was pretty tough. Spent a lot of time just working hard, trying to get back on the court, and I'm just blessed to be back.
In the middle on the left.
Will McKay with Red Raider Sports. So, Keenan, what is it about this SFA team and the way they kind of try to disrupt you in the half court that really sticks out, the way they kind of try to trap ball screens and all that?
They're similar to, South Carolina and West Virginia type teams, and we know that they force a lot of turnovers in the half court, and whether it's full court pressure in the half court, and they just try to make it really tough for teams.
Okay, we'll go back on the left side.
Justin, I guess just in terms of what y'all have to do defensively against Stephen F. Austin, I guess just generally, I guess what kind of stands out to you again about them, and what you all have to do to kind of slow them down a little bit?
They execute their sets really well. Mainly for us, it's ball pressure, being a help defense, siding, a lot of stuff, just being, what we are, a defensive team, and just doing our tactics that we've been doing all year. But, SFA is a really talented team. They execute their offense really well. Well-coached team, so it should be fun on Thursday.
Let's go in the back.
Jonah Javad, WFAA. Keenan, what was your reaction to seeing that you guys got to play in Dallas for the opening round, and what did your friends and family say when they found out the news?
It was like a celebration. We were all happy, excited to be able to play in front of friends and family and have such we know that it's going to be a good crowd for us, and hopefully that gives us an advantage.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and for the rest of you guys, the ability to come back here to some extent, is it like a home game of sorts for you, the comforts of home, being able to come back to the DFW area?
All 3 of the others?
Stephen F. Austin being the Texas team also, we expect them to have some fans here as well. And I feel like it's a homecoming, but I wouldn't consider it a home game.
You want Zach? Okay. Zach Smith.
Same. Yeah, I feel like it should be just half and half. Should be a pretty good vibe for both teams.
I'm not from Texas, but, I love the fans. But, yeah, it should be a good turnout, for both teams. And I know, we have a great fan base, so I'm excited to see just a number of people, Tech brings, to American Airlines.
Okay, let's go over here onto the middle of the right side.
This is for Keenan, Stephen Hawkins. You obviously, with Zach missed his time. You had your time where you were not 100%. Just talk about where this team is right now. You got through the Big 12, and you've got through all that. It's got to prepare you for the NCAA, and you've got pretty much a full roster right now. Talk about that.
I would say that helped us in a ways of, coming together, people having to step up and take bigger roles, and that brings out, the best in people and show them what they can really do. And especially now that we're, back and healthier, certain people can play like that still. And, once we got all our pieces together, it's just, we're a better team. So we just look forward to people, playing their best and, getting back to what we do.
Guys, let's move to the left.
Zaire, just obviously being a freshman, just having your first experience here, I guess what's it like? And I guess is it not necessarily that big just because you've been on a big stage before, like Madison Square Garden in previous games?
I'm just learning from Madison Square Garden. I'm just living in the moment right now. Enjoying it.
Okay, let's go back to the extreme right.
Zaire, what would you say was the biggest challenge you faced as a freshman, and how did you overcome that?
Challenging the speed of the game. I feel like the speed of the game is very fast. So I just had to overcome that.
Other questions for the guys? Okay. Get on the left.
Keenan and Zach, I guess just for you guys, how important was the rest for y'all just to kind of obviously just kind of get your minds right and just kind of get the bodies right so far?
Keenan, we'll let you go first.
Yeah, I say it was big. I say it helped a lot, me sitting out a game and resting, and also these breaks in between the last few games has been good. And also, being on the sideline and kind of watching the game from afar, it really helps you break down stuff. So when you get back, it feels like it makes the game a lot easier.
Zach?
Yeah, I feel like the rest was extremely important. Just being in the training room, getting your body right before you go back out there.
Okay, up front here on this right side.
Yeah, Keenan, Zach, neither one of you guys came from real touted basketball powerhouses in high school, but every year your game's gotten better. Every year you've gotten better. Talk a little bit about what it's been like to progress from, not being in all world in high school, but it's gotten better and better and better every year.
It's just, like Coach Beard says all the time, it's just a process. During the summers, during the year, just stay committed and stay working. So it's been a process from being at the lowest point of Texas Tech basketball to, now one of the highest points. So it's just always going to be a process, and, you can't let up.
Keenan couldn't have said it better. Just sticking to the process, trying to expand the game, and do the best you can.
Okay, middle, right.
Zaire, obviously this season began with quite a few freshmen, quite a few seniors on this team. You guys have developed and kind of built a continuity and chemistry, but talk about where it's kind of set the foundation for moving past. And I know you guys are focused on this tournament, but talk about how it set a good foundation for this program moving forward after this year.
We just gonna learn from the seniors, follow in their footsteps, do what we always ask them questions, so we just follow in their footsteps.
Any other questions for our student athletes? Okay. Extreme left.
Keenan, just one more time. I know you kind of mentioned it about the process. How long do you feel like this moment for you and Zach and kind of all the seniors, and Justin and Zach, if you want to kind of chime in as well, what's it been like either at the off season or just when you first started at Texas Tech that's been for you, and what's it been like just to kind of obviously get all these number 3 seeds, kind of play in front of your friends and family? What's that process been like for y'all?
I'd say the ride has felt long in the moment, but then you realize like how fast it's gone by. But this last go around has been amazing, and I'm just not ready for it to end. So we just really got to battle and keep it going.
You said you wanted the other seniors as well. Okay, Zach, we'll let you go.
Yeah, like you said, it's just been a long process. Just feels like we're here now. Just got to live in the moment and take advantage of the opportunity.
And Justin?
Yeah, pretty much what these guys said, but, it feels like yesterday we were just moving into the dorms with each other and, just getting our first shots up in the gym. But now, we're seniors into NCAA tournament, so it's a fast turnaround. And people try to tell you that, college goes by fast, but you really don't realize that until, you're finally at the end of, your road. So, like Keenan said, we're going to try to make this last as long as possible and just play our hearts out.
Have time for one last question for our student athletes. Anybody have a question? I don't think so, guys. We'll let you go back to the locker room, get ready for practice. Good seeing you again, and good luck next week. Tomorrow, I mean. Next week's already arrived. Coach Beard will be here in just a second. You're down here by me. How do you see you again? Glad to be here. Ready to begin with the head coach of the Red Raiders, Coach Chris Beard. Coach, welcome back to your old stomping grounds, really, and congratulations on the NCAA tournament. Your thoughts?
Just really proud to be here in the second year of building our program. I think about those guys that y'all just talked to, Zach and Keenan and Justin, Norrance, and when the coaching change happened between Tubby and our group, you know, I just promised those guys that we would do everything in the power possible to get them back in the NCAA tournament, and came up a little bit short last year, but really appreciative of those guys staying the course with us. And, you know, we look forward to hopefully being a part of the fight. But the story in my mind is just how thankful and appreciative I am of our players and all the work that they've put into our program to get us back to the national tournament.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Let's go to questions. Again, please state name and affiliation. Coach, first one on your right, here on the outside aisle.
Adam Grossbard, Dallas Morning News. When you were recruiting Zaire Smith in high school, what did you see in him, and how has he developed in his freshman season?
Yeah, I think with Z, the obvious is the athleticism and the talent. But what we saw early on in the process was the thing to me that makes the difference and will eventually make him an NBA player one day is his character, his toughness, his unselfishness, and then maybe above all, his love of the game. I think in today's world with rankings and the internet and all this stuff, and kids' talent can be pretty well documented pretty quickly. But what separates, I think, the good from the great and the great from the elite is just the old school love of the game. And Z's a guy that loves basketball. He's always in the gym. I'd put our other freshman, Jarrett Culver, in the same classification, and Morrow and Malik. And that's one of the great things about our team is we've literally got a bunch of guys that love basketball.
Coach, let's go on your left.
Carlos Silva with the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. Chris, I know you kind of mentioned it already, but just the process for these guys to get back here, especially like you said with the coaching change, just how much work has been put into this, and how gratifying is it for you to kind of watch these players kind of do that and just kind of reward themselves with this?
Yeah, you know, I've always had a kind of problem with the coaches that talk about how hard they work. You know, we all do, or this player has this extreme work ethic. He makes 500 shots. I mean, everybody does that at this level. But what I would say is this, you know, I don't think we work harder than anyone else. I'm not saying we're better, but there's no one in all of athletics that works any harder than us. We take a lot of pride in our day-to-day process, whether it be nutrition, fueling the body, weight room, getting your body ready to play in the Big 12, training room, making sure you're sharp, the academic piece of being a student athlete, everything to us, individual work. But we just have a day-to-day process that we believe in. And we got to get guys that buy in and want to be coached like that. You know, great coaches want to be, great players want to be coached. They want to be pushed. And that's what we inherited first here with Tubby Smith's class. You know, I can't thank Coach Smith enough for the foundation that he laid that we're benefiting from. And then the players that we've added to the team. But I think at the core of everything is a bunch of guys that want to get better. And I believe in our day-to-day process. You know, we don't have a lot of McDonald's All-Americans. We don't have a lot of players that the national scene have heard of, but then I think our season speaks for itself. And at the core of all that is just guys that love basketball, coaches that love basketball, and then a process that we believe in that we try to execute every day.
We'll stay on your left, Coach.
Chris, SFA, those guys, they force 20 turnovers a game, the most of anybody in the country. What is it about their kind of disruptive style of half-court defense that makes them so effective at that?
Well, Stephen F. Austin's one of the best teams in college basketball. You know, ask LSU, ask Missouri. They passed the eye test with their non-conference schedule, and they just got really good players. They've got guys that have played on NCAA tournament teams. This is a team that's beat West Virginia in the tournament just a couple years ago, as well as another first-round game. They got all-conference players. They got guys that are going to play after college. And then they've got a really good coach. Kyle Keller is a guy that all of us in basketball know Kyle. We know of his success in the Big 12 as an assistant for Coach Sutton and Sean. We know that he was at Texas A&M as Billy built the program quickly. I know he was a great junior college coach back at Tyler. You know, Kyle and I, we used to, after recruiting events, we'd go to McDonald's. Neither one of us could afford the regular meals, so we'd order 2 things off the dollar meal, and then we'd get the water cups. And I'm not proud of this, but when they weren't looking, we'd put Sprite in the water cup. You know, that's me and Kyle come from the same background, so nobody respects Coach Keller more than I do, and I've made sure that our players understand you're playing against a really good team. You're playing against a team that's good enough to beat anybody in this tournament in a 40-minute game, and you're playing against a team that's coached by a guy that knows what he's doing.
Okay, on the outside aisle toward the back.
Chris, Mike Finger from the San Antonio Express News. Along those lines, when you're in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina in the ABA and then McMurray, do you think that you're on your way to something like this, or is that even on your mind?
Well, I have a lot of confidence in myself. You know, it's not arrogance. I would hope that people that know me, including my 3 daughters that are here, you know, they keep me humble pretty quick. But I have a lot of confidence in myself, and my confidence comes from the people I surround myself with. I think we have the best coaching staff in college basketball with Coach Adams and Coach Ogden and Al Pinkins, and our support staff with Coach Sutton and Brian Berg and Max. And I just surround myself with winners, people that have been there and done that. On our coaching staff, everybody on our staff's won a championship. Everybody on our staff's won an NCAA tournament game. And 2 of our staff have played and coached in Final Fours. Then I have a lot of confidence in our players. I recruit guys that I know I can coach, guys that love basketball and want to get better. And then ultimately, that's where, you know, great opportunities come from, is when you have good players. So I am a confident person. So back in those Myrtle Beach days, I was just trying to win the next game on the schedule. As I sit here today, I'm having a lot of fun. I mean, we're eating at nice restaurants, staying at nice hotels, walking through carpet here. You know, 4 years ago, days in, and you know, the continental breakfast is what we ate for pregame meal. So I never forget where I come from. I wouldn't change my journey for anything. But today's story is these Texas Tech players and this team and everything they've done to get us here, and I'm just enjoying the ride. I don't want it to end. I want to coach these guys all the way till a Monday night, where it's me and one other guy coaching, and everybody else is, you know, either watching a game or in a sports bar.
Okay, we have a question in the back by the riser.
Bailey Burtmaster, the ABC affiliate in Lubbock. Coach, you mentioned it there. Your 3 daughters are here. Emotions running high as you enter the big dance. What's it like to have them here? And also, you mentioned they humble you. How do they do that?
Oh, I mean, anyone that has 3 daughters understands where I'm coming from. You know, Margot woke up this morning and asked what we were going to do today. You know, there's an American Girl store in the Galleria, so I said, well, we got a basketball tournament. And then, you know, Avery's smarter than anybody in our program combined, so when she says something, we all just kind of pay attention. And then I wish Ella could play some minutes for us tomorrow, because my middle daughter's very competitive and a good player. But, no, it's special. And, I just want to thank our players. I've thanked those guys 4 or 5 times this week. And they're the guys that have worked so hard and played good basketball and overcome adversity to get us into this tournament where all of us, including myself, my daughters, can benefit.
Okay, here on the front.
Coach Art Strickland, when you beat Kansas up in Lawrence this year, someone asked you what you had and Kansas didn't have. You famously said, well, we got Whataburger in Lubbock. I was wondering, we got Florida teams here and we got teams here. Have you given directions to any Whataburgers locally here, or passed out any more dining advice to these non-Texans?
Yeah, you know, I grew up in Irving, Texas, right down the road, and so I know where they all are. We're staying at the Hilton Anatole, and there's a Whataburger right on the feeder road. I might have or might not have walked over there about 3 o'clock in the morning. I leave that up to you. But But no, I just, I kind of speak from the hip. I'm not a guy that really prepares. I just speak from the heart. I think that's where coaching is. Guys know you tell them the truth, and that's everything in recruiting and coaching. So with that comment, it's actually worked out pretty good for me, though. The people that own the Whataburgers in Texas, they sent me like a Yeti cooler, got a couple coupons. It's actually worked out really good for me. It's one of my better decisions.
Okay, in the middle on the right.
David Hoff from the Chicago Tribune. Tommy Hamilton, can you just talk about how would you describe his role and the way he's developed for you?
Hey, Tommy's been great for us. Tommy jumped on board with Texas Tech when we were kind of unproven. As a transfer coming from DePaul, he could have gone to a lot of different places, but he believed in us before we had a body of work to show him. We just told him what we were going to do and going to try to do, and he believed it. I'll never forget Tommy's visit. His mother, him and me were sitting in the arena, and we started talking about the process from nutrition to working out and stuff like that. We also are two guys that said, hey, let's don't talk about the past, let's just talk about the future. I have a lot of respect for Tommy. He transformed his body during his sit-out year last year, lost 50 pounds. That's hard to do. I've been trying to lose 4 pounds for the last 2 years. Tommy drops 50 in 6 months. He's one of the better players. I think he'll be even a better pro than he was a college player for different reasons, but Tommy is skilled. When Tommy plays well, we play at our best. But I have a lot of respect and appreciation for Tommy Hamilton, and it's been a great ride coaching him. And again, I hope I can coach him well into this month.
Other questions for Coach? Okay, here again on the right.
Skylar Dixon with the AP. Chris, what did you guys learn about yourself in the time that you either didn't have Keenan or had him really limited there late in the year?
Well, I think we all learned about the character of our team and the things that we hold our hat on that came true. I tell the guys all the time that in life, and just like in college basketball, it's not a matter of if adversity is coming, it's a matter of when. That's just the life that we all live. Basketball is no different. So we talk a lot about things like mental toughness in our program, and to have to overcome some of these injuries, whether it be Keenan, whether it be Justin, the first play of the Kansas game, whether it be Zach all season long. Just the fact that these guys have had the kind of season that we've had, overcoming some adversity, I just think is a direct reflection of their character. And all teams have adversity, all teams have injuries, but I think we've had our share this year, and our guys have just overcome it. We've had a steadiness to our team, a professionalism, a maturity. I tell the guys all the time, it's like, Prince today, Frog tomorrow. You win a game, your cell phone's blowing up, everybody's your best friend, text messages are random, then you drop a couple, it gets pretty quiet pretty quick. And I think our guys understand that. We don't get too high and we don't get too low. And I think that steadiness is a necessity to play in the Big 12. And I think it could actually help us in this tournament too. We expect a great game against Stephen F. Austin. We know they're going to have runs. They're a really good team. And I think we got to be steady. The NCAA tournament games are long games. They're a game of runs. And I've always thought that the team that can kind of stay the course gives themselves a chance, late in the game.
Any other questions for Coach Beard? All right, Coach, I think you have practice on your mind.
Thank you very much.
Get ready for that. Thank you for coming. Our Florida News Conference is scheduled to begin at 3:30. Florida student athletes at 3:30.
Six. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Those of you that's in the media workroom, Florida is in the arena, in the locker room, and should be here on stage in just a bit. We may have an abbreviated Florida session, but we'll try to figure that out as we go. But media in the back, Florida should be on stage in just a minute or two.
Yeah, Chris, what do you take from the matchup that you had with them last year in Lakeland, particularly in defending their guards, who are both back this year, Mobley and Jalen Adams?
We know that those are their two main scorers, and they're great players. So we're going to try to contain them as much as we can, and just play how we do. Try not to let them get any open shots early and get going.
Wendell Barnhouse with The Athletic. Chris, you just mentioned, it's kind of a tough preparation thing since they played last night and you guys had to get ready for either UCLA or St. Bonaventure. The fact that you know this team a little bit better, do you think that gives you guys a little bit of, not an edge, but is it just a little easier getting ready for them rather than some team you hadn't played last year maybe?
I don't think it'll be any easier. But, that we played them last year, we know, kind of a little bit better what those guys, want to do or what they're good at. So, we're just going to try to, make them, do things they're not as comfortable doing. As with UCLA, we haven't watched them play at all or seen, I haven't seen them play at all until last night. So it would have been probably a little bit tougher scout.
Chris Hayes, Orlando Sentinel. Chris, everybody called you Cheese before last year, but the big shot against Wisconsin, how much did that take off your nickname last year?
I'm not sure. I mean, I felt like probably a lot of people called me that last year, but this year I feel like everybody calls me that. So I'm sure that had something to do with it, or just me being here so long that everybody started calling me that. I'm not really sure, but I'm sure that probably had a little bit to do with it.
Jake Winterman, ESPN Gainesville. Igor, I know that your first NCAA tournament appearance was obviously a heartbreaker against Texas. Could you sort of talk about what you learned from that experience, then how excited you are after starting at ASU, going to Rice, and finally landing up at Florida in your last season, heading into the tournament with this team?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think what I learned from it the most is probably not that the seeds don't matter, but that every team in this field is very good, and you got to respect every single opponent. And I mean, the margin of error is so small. I mean, that was a heartbreaker my freshman year against Texas. I mean, the guy just picked the ball up, just laid it up. I kind of learned from that, and it's been a journey since then. Obviously went to Rice, now finishing my year here at Florida, and it's been great. And I mean, this is the time, and this is why I came to Florida. This team, those guys. I mean, we worked really hard all year to be where we are right now, and now we just gotta take advantage of that.
Yeah, question for both Jalen and Igor. You were both playing at a pretty high level towards the end of the regular season, then hit a little bit of a lull in the Arkansas game. What's the sense of urgency been like in practice for both of you guys this week to kind of bounce back for Thursday?
Jalen, we'll let you take that.
We're just trying to hang our hat on defense. That's been our main emphasis. We want to play really hard, make their shots really hard, and stop them in transition. Our main focus has been on St. Bonaventure. We kind of moved to the next thing rather than looking back at Arkansas. We took a second just to look at our mistakes against Arkansas, but now we've had a whole new focus, and it's all been on St. Bonaventure.
Yeah, same kind of thing. Just, again, trying to take it one day at a time and then trying to move on. From the Arkansas game, we have a new opponent. Really try to hang our hat on defense, like Jalen said. We know that if we defend at a high level, it's going to give us a chance at every single game. That's what we're going to try and do tomorrow, just defend at a high level.
Jalen, Wendell Barnhouse in The Athletic. You guys obviously got to spend more time in St. Louis not playing than you would have liked. What was that like for you guys, kind of being just stuck there and probably wanting to get home and then having to find out on the plane who you're going to be playing, all that stuff? What was that whole experience like?
Yeah, I feel like it made it a little bit worse for us. We had to sit there. We had to watch all the games there in St. Louis. I feel like made the sting like a little bit longer. I'd like remember exactly how that feeling feels, so I don't want to feel like that again. And so I want to use that, to help push us forward.
Sort of for Chris here, I know you have some NCAA tournament experience from last year and playing in that, but have you reached out to any of your older friends who have been in this experience before more times than you, or maybe back out to Casey Hill just for some extra tips and pointers, or just in terms of getting ready for the tournament?
No, I haven't been in contact with any people that's already my fellow teammates that's already been there or anything. I just I try to use my experience to help these guys out. I'm sure coach or somebody will have something set up for us when we get to the hotel or something with former players, or just somebody to give us a little extra advice that I might not be able to provide.
And then quickly for Jalen, I know coming into the season and during your redshirt year, there's a lot of questions surrounding your defense and sort of how that was going to affect your playing time. How have you seen your game change from when you first came into Florida for your redshirt season up until now in the tournament?
Yeah, my game has changed a lot, both ends of the floor. Still trying to continue to get better every day. Not exactly where I wanted to be. I feel like my ceiling is still pretty high, but it's about us right now. You know what I mean? March Madness, it's about everybody. You know what I mean? So it's not an individual thing. It's going to take everybody tomorrow. So that's what I've really been focusing on, giving as much as I can, being a servant.
Chris, just following up on kind of the point of that last question, could having some guys that have had experience and went through it last year be an advantage on your team? I know that you don't have everyone back, but you have some pieces back from last year.
Yeah, I think it could, be an advantage. Just the atmosphere you have here every game when you get into this tournament. People that haven't been here before, it might, rattle them a little bit. But like you said, we have pieces that have been here, and I think that the guys that were here last year, I think we're trying to do as best a job we can as getting everybody ready to, prepare themselves mentally for this, what we're about to face on this court out here.
Jalen, I just wanted to follow up. You were talking about the sting of, were you talking about the lost to Arkansas and then sitting around watching other teams play? Was that what you were referencing?
Yeah, that was exactly what I was talking about. First and foremost, I don't feel like we played our best game. We didn't even give ourselves a chance, really, against Arkansas. And then on top of that, we had to sit there in St. Louis and watch all the rest of the SEC games when we knew we should have been playing. You know what I mean? It really stung. And for us to sit there and not have anything to do but besides watch the rest of the games, it really stung. So that's what I was talking about.
I know at least with Chris and Igor, not really a basketball question, but I've seen you guys are both big into Fortnite, big into playing that together. Do you think, even though it's a non-basketball thing, that's something that has brought you guys together, just another way to spend more time together, create that chemistry?
Yeah, I mean, you could say that in a way. I mean, we just got a lot of similar interests. Having those always helps to kind of bring you together. And maybe even on the court. I mean, who knows? But it's been great. Just getting to know him, all my teammates, really Jalen. I mean, we all live together. We feel like we're pretty close. A lot of times this shows on the court too.
Yeah, like he said, anytime you can find something that that you can share interest with somebody else or a lot of people on the team, we all like to we all enjoy playing that game. So we try to play it together as much as we can, and I mean, it's just a bond that we got just from that, let alone everything else we do together, but just that. I mean, it's definitely like brings us a little bit closer together.
Coach, welcome to Dallas and North Texas. Your thoughts as you come into the NCAA tournament?
Great to be here. Great to be back in the NCAA tournament. I thought my guys did a really good job. 3 really good guys. Decent practice today. Coming off, obviously, a performance at the SEC tournament that we weren't overly pleased with, but at the same time, understanding that we played a very, very good team. The SEC's had a great run, a great year. Hopefully our league can do some damage in this tournament. And then obviously now it's about St. Bonaventure. And thought they were really good last night against the UCLA team that had a terrific year. St. Bonaventure, I thought, played extremely hard, defended at a really, really high clip, and beat a good Pac team without their best 2 players, in my opinion. Playing at their fullest potential. It shows you how dangerous that they are.
Coach, thank you very much. We'll go to questions here on this right side on the aisle.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun. I mean, you're aware of Mobley and Adams from last year and what they did to you in Lakeland, but what else about their team particularly kind of stood out on Tuesday night that's going to be really difficult for you guys to deal with going into Thursday?
Well, I think with those 2 guys, they're complemented by Stockard, who is a really underrated guy, in my opinion, and a mismatch nightmare. How do you guard him? Who do you guard him with? He was terrific last night and was the difference in the game, in my opinion. again, to complement arguably one of the best backcourts in the country, both offensively and defensively. And then they've got complementary pieces, too, that I think provide defense and rebounding, play within themselves, hard to block out, really good in zone, provide some physicality. I mean, Kevin, going back to last year's game, since you brought it up, one of the things that stuck out after the game was their talent level, you know, how good they were offensively. They could really score it, the way they executed. Coach Smith's done an amazing job there, of course, but just how tough they were and how hard they played. And I thought that was shown again last night.
Wendell Barnhouse with The Athletic. Mike, I was just curious about your preparation and scouting for this situation based on the fact that you're playing, you know, the play-in winter.
Right.
So you had to kind of get ready for two teams, and I know usually you're kind of at least laying groundwork for a possible second round thing. Could you sort of explain how you guys had to handle that whole situation?
Yeah, sure. For us, moving forward, we won't discuss it, look at it, peek at it, nothing. We've never done that. It's just our philosophy. But to you know, your first question, it was a first-time deal for us this week, leading into this one. In that you don't know who you're going to play, and that's a position we put ourselves in, and we were close to not having this type situation. We try to combine as much tendency as possible offensively and defensively. Obviously with UCLA and St. Bonaventure, led by guards offensively, transition defense being a huge key, ball screen defense being huge, isolation defense. And then, you know, there's some differences there with speed and quickness versus athleticism and size and length. And then we win in terms of scout team, offense versus a dummy defense scout team, we went against their tandem 2-3 zone a bunch. St. Bonaventure, I'm talking about, unfortunately wasted a lot of time going against the UCLA's 3-2 zone.
Can I get a follow-up?
Sure.
At this time of year, is it different than regular season preparation? I mean, because of the time factor, and so do you dial anything back, even though the games are obviously very important? Is that factor into it at all?
No, I think there are a lot of similarities, really, outside of the fact that we didn't know who to prep for. But then once you find out last night, late, it becomes pretty similar. A little bit quicker than most of our SEC games, but both Bonaventure and us have played Thursday, Saturdays this year, and Tuesday, Thursdays, or Saturday, whatever, you know, Sunday, Tuesday. So we're all, you know, it's an even playing field, you know, from here on out. Really, everybody in the tournament, and whoever's fortunate to advance, it's the same prep. It's a 2-day prep, mostly mental compared to a 3-4 day prep, but there's got to be some physicality involved as well.
Okay, we'll move back to the right side on the aisle.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville said, Mike, does the experience of going through it last year play a factor in all? I know you don't have all the pieces back, but obviously you have Chioza, Hayes, you have some guys.
I don't know, Kevin. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I just think we're such a different team. We're playing such a different team. I just think it's more about this year's Gators versus this year's Bonnies. The experience, if you really look into it, there's probably some positives that we can draw from, but there might be some negatives too, and that we think that we have a lot of positive, and we think that because of our experience, if we allow this to creep in, that we can just play well and we're just going to move on because that's what happened last year. But that can be the negative side of it. We've got to play really, really well to win tomorrow, and our focus can't be on how far can we make it in the tournament, or it's going to be short-lived, our experience here in the NCAA tournament. It's got to be focused on the Bonaventure scouting report.
Still on coach's left.
And ESPN Gainesville. Coach, I know in the press conference before your team left for Dallas, you talked about that there still wasn't that guy who was really stepping up, being the absolute leader of the team, and that sense of urgency would still, because you have a shyer, quieter team like you've talked about. Have you noticed in the time since you've been out here that attitude change whatsoever, just in the spirit of being out here for March Madness, seeing the realness of the tournament and seeing it in person?
No. And Jake, I want to be clear too. We have some leadership. We do, and and Chris Chios has been a terrific leader in a lot of regards, and Kavaris Hayes has really stepped up vocally. Igor Kulichov has provided some leadership for this team. This team, though, we've had an inconsistent level of edge and competitiveness and desire. And I was talking to somebody about it the other day. The fact that it's really hard to tick these guys off. I'm gonna give you an example. There's a bunch of stuff hits the media, whether it be social media or television media, that everyone's picking whoever wins this game, they're going to beat Florida, right? We all know it. Why would I not use it? Whether it works or not, who knows? With this group, I don't know. We showed it, and we showed it this afternoon before practice because I thought it might lead to us having a bunch of edge in practice, and we got off to a horrible start in practice. Quiet. I had to tell my managers to stop cheering our guys on because it sounds like a library in there if they're not getting after it. It's just the personality of this team, and I probably need to stop fighting it, this time of year. It is what it is. But that said, I think that the positive occasionally that we can draw from that type of mentality is this team doesn't really get rattled either. This team's got an ability to make plays late down the stretch with poise. Maybe our lack of emotion at times can be a positive.
Okay, we'll stay here on the right.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville. So, Mike, you discussed the wing defense against Arkansas. How imperative is that going to have to be to improve facing a team like this that has multiple wings that can score?
Huge, Kevin. I mean, it's transition defense, ball screen defense, isolation defense. Our guards defending their guards at a high level. Those things have to happen for us, or we might as well not show up. If we defend the way we did against Arkansas, we'll be a one and done in this tournament, and that's been explained to our guys several times, leading into practice today, and several times during practice today. These guys are really good, really good. At the 1, 2, 3, 4, catch and shoot threes, finishing in transition, drawing fouls, using ball screens, creating their own shot. In addition, they execute well.
Anything else for Coach? No? Okay, Coach, we'll let you go. I know you're going to practice here in just a bit.
Just ready to get out there and show what we can do.
Same thing, just ready to play.
Wendell Barnhouse from The Athletic. TJ, you said SFA basketball. Explain what you think that means, or what does that mean to people that haven't seen you guys play. Explain basketball the way you guys play it.
Disruption, pressuring the ball. Where we consider ourselves a defensive team, forcing turnovers, pressuring on-ball defense, help defense. That's SFA basketball.
Okay, TJ, why don't you take that? Bad choice, is that right?
I got it. Stands for fun.
Good answer.
Dang, that's bad. We'll know after this.
Other questions? in the front row. You're right.
Guys, when y'all can play y'all style basketball, we've seen y'all put up close to 80 points in some games, and it seems like when you get slowed down like you did in the conference championship, it kind of slows your production down. What do y'all have to do out there against Texas Tech to make sure y'all can get those turnovers going like you do with leading the nation and keep that fast pace?
Anybody in particular?
Let's go with Ivan.
Okay.
We just got to play our style of basketball, get out and run, and play together offensively. And once we do that, the points will just start piling up.
Leon, Wendell Barnhouse in the Athletic, what TJ said about defense. How tough are your guys' practices? Do you guys love defense because you have to or because you do?
Man, practice is tough. I mean, you have to come with a different mindset to get through one of our practices. It starts in the summer. I mean, just getting conditioned, learning where to be on the court. We have to be at a certain spot every time. Everybody moves in a certain pattern, and you just have to be tough mentally and physically to get through it and learn it. But once you get it, it's fun. That's what makes it fun. You know, we go through all those hard times in practice just for the games, and then we get to finally express it once we get to the game and show everyone what we can do.
Chuck Carlton, Dallas Morning News, for Ivan and for TJ. I was just curious, ever since that game against West Virginia, almost making the Sweet 16. I mean, a lot of teams seated where you are a little bit under the radar. You guys probably aren't going to be sneaking up on anybody. Everybody remembers that game. What's it been like for you guys since that game and kind of, putting yourselves on the map?
Ivan?
Not for anybody, actually.
I didn't play in the West Virginia game, but I watched it, and it was pretty cool. So, yeah. I don't know.
Hey, TJ.
I forgot the question. The game definitely put SFA on the map. It was already on the map, but I guess people started respecting the school a little bit more. They heard about the school. It helped bring in recruits, and I don't know. Coach Cox, what's up? TY.
I mean, you said it. I mean, that was that team. This is a new team, so we're here to create our own legacy.
Okay.
Ty, again, about the defense. I talked to a coach that played you guys this year, and he said that if you make teams go east-west, like side to side, they're dead. They got to go right at the basket, attack real quick. Is that, if you were coaching against Stephen F., would that be your game plan to try to just attack quickly? And if you go to the side, to a wing pass, that's when things get hairy for other teams?
Most definitely. Yes, sir.
Why?
I mean, playing against our defense is tough, so you just got to make shots. If you don't make shots, then it's going to be pretty hard to beat Stephen Foster.
Fuller. Final answer.
Okay, guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Coach, congratulations on a great season, and welcome over to Dallas for the NCAA tournament. Your thoughts coming into tomorrow's first round?
Well, we're excited to be here. I think our players have earned the right. Obviously, we had a tremendous non-conference schedule, and kids played tough, and we had a little bumps in the road in the league. But you know, we talked all year long about playing well as we went through March and at Katy, and I think our kids are peaking at the right time, and I'm excited for them as you know, we prepare for this two-game tournament here in Dallas, which to me is a perfect venue for not only our players but our fans. So we know we have an unbelievable mountain to climb in Texas Tech, and what a great coaching staff they have. But hopefully, I think our kids will try pretty hard tomorrow.
Okay, let's go to questions. Questions now for Coach Keller. In the back, Coach, by the TV riser.
Coach, David Collier from the ABC in Lubbock, Texas. Coach Beard discussed your relationship and your time throughout the years. Can you look back at some of your memories with him, maybe at a McDonald's stealing Sprite instead of water?
You know, I have amnesia pretty good, so not really referencing, you know, what he's talking about, but I think he would really hate if he aired some of my dirty laundry on him through the last 25 years that I could throw back at him. But I think my hand just slipped on what lever to push. I didn't hit water. It was it just slipped off the water tab. I think that's what happened, and Sprite accidentally came out into the cup versus water. I don't know if he remembers it exactly like that, because I think I threw it in the trash versus drinking the Sprite. Everybody that knows me knows I hate Sprite. I'm a root beer and iced tea guy, so you know, I'm not sure how he remembers it, but you know, Chris and I have spent a lot of time together, and we're great friends, and I have the utmost respect for him, and you guys are really lucky to have a great coach like him. I'm glad he brought that up. What a great guy he is.
Okay, on the outside aisle here on the right.
Kyle, Mike Finger from San Antonio Express News. Chris was also mentioning earlier today about how you guys come from a rank of coaches that not a lot of people talk about, from places that people haven't heard of, and he said he took kind of a pride in representing those guys. I wonder if you feel kind of the same way, and do you think there's any kind of connection there because of your shared background?
You know, Chris and I think both were at one time, and Jeremy Cox on my staff, who's my associate head coach, we were all living in San Antonio when we were trying to figure it out. And he was in Incarnate Word as a GA, and Jeremy and I were at UTSA, and we were all just trying to figure out where we were going, hoping to make it in life, hoping to make it in this career, and if we could be somebody somewhere, just hang on. And then we all three of us go junior college coaching, and just then you never know. You take a chance. And Chris obviously has won everywhere he's been, just like Jeremy has, and I've been blessed, and I just think the Lord's blessed all three of us. And there's no perfect. I tell the young coaches all the time, there's no perfect way, you know, to become a head coach in this level. You have to be blessed. I've been blessed by my athletic director, who's leaving me right now. I'm not happy with him at all, one bit, because he's leaving. You know, Chris I think he's only had 62 jobs in the 28 years, 25 years he's coached, and won everywhere. He left Tech and came, and we had dinner at BJ's Brewery. He wanted to learn Bill Self's ball screen continuity. I think it took all of 20 minutes to learn what Coach Self has perfected, and then he went undefeated in his professional basketball career running that, because he never run ball screen offense. That's how smart a dude he is. And so, you know, he's a special guy and a special coach, and he can do anything. He's a magician as a basketball coach. So, you know, you can imagine how excited I am that we get to play them.
Kyle Wendell Barnhouse with The Athletic. Hey, getting your guys to play the relentless defense that they play, I guess that if they don't do that, it's a non-starter, literally. But I mean, it sounds simple. Hey, go out there and play defense. How do you get guys to do that?
We're on our second treadmill at our place, and you know, we don't have a chance to be successful. We don't have a chance. If you follow this program, I know you from here and you love basketball. You know, Brad Underwood couldn't have won 2 games in the NCAA tournament. If we're going to line up and be traditional, we have no chance to win a game. You know, but if we do something different, we have a chance. And Fort Centennial Tech averages 12 turnovers a game. If we force 12 turnovers tomorrow, we're going to ride the bus back home again. You know, we have to do something different for us to have a chance to win, and for us to try to not let them catch, to make them uncomfortable, and those kind of things. And you know, it's a credit to really our kids' parents, allowing us to make them uncomfortable every day in practice. We got great parents. You know, our staff has recruited great kids who allow us to coach them, to not be entitled in this society and the generation today, and allow us to make them uncomfortable every day, to take them to another level. And I think we have 9 starters. So they know if they don't do it the way we think we can be good at, then they'll, you know, I told them today, I said, hey, just put the shooting shirt on and cheerlead, or go play the trumpet in the band tomorrow, whatever you want to do. But if you can't play it this way tomorrow, you know, we'll just be ready to go home with the band or the cheerleaders, because you ain't playing tomorrow if you can't play the way we play.
Here on the left, toward the back.
Josh Peter with USA Today. I subjected your players to a pop quiz, so I can't spur you.
Uh-oh. I was a terrible student.
What does the F in Stephen F. Austin stand for?
Well, golly. You know, I did my research before I got this job, and I think it's Fuller. Is that right? So, you know, I was pretty blessed. I wanted to know everything about the school before I went into the most I could. But I'm sure our guys, I can't imagine the dumb looks on their face that they said. You know, they could have thrown some stuff out there. I'd hate them. I don't even want to know what they said.
Okay, again on the back, on this right side.
Following up about the defense, do you have to recruit a certain kind of player that you know will, like you said, not be entitled and be willing to be pushed maybe beyond limits?
You as a coach, as you know this, we all think that we can change every kid. We all believe that. And I'm no different than most of them. But I've tried. Some play, some don't, some leave. We've had a couple leave since I've been there. I said this a week ago, the greatest talent you have, in my opinion, and I learned this from Coach Sutton, spending so much time with him, and Sean, is your heart, your Valentine. And the last kid I signed won our game for us last Saturday. Is a kid named John Como, who his mother, when she asked me if I offered him a scholarship, she got down on her knees and cried last spring in her house. And I really, kind of was a soft scholarship offer, if you can believe it. But I knew right then and there I had to have him, because it meant so much for their family for them to come to Stephen F. Austin. And as we'd gotten tight and nervous, it was a game we had under control and everybody, but I knew he would give the energy to our team, because he wasn't afraid, and he cared so much about Stephen F. Austin, and he changed the game for us. But it's character and willingness and those kind of things, and it's deeper than, hey, how pretty is this shot, you know, those type of things, I think, that allow us to remotely have a chance to beat somebody else, you know, versus, hey, he's 6'8", 220, or fits all those things that maybe some of the kids I've coached in the past at our place. Don't get me wrong, I'll take a 5-star kid, you know, and we'd like to have them. And if they want to come tomorrow, you know, for the spring, they can come on. We'll coach them too. But they got to be the right kind of kid. We consider ourselves gritty and grimy and that kind of stuff.
Again on the left, here in the middle.
Hey, Coach. Caleb with KTRE. Let me ask you first, two-part question. How big was it on Sunday when you find out you're playing in Dallas? And secondly, have you got enough tickets now?
Caleb, you know, and you know the story. Back in December, the Lord told me we were going to play in Dallas. And the second thing is, there is not enough tickets for all the people that want to come to this game, that are involved in my life, where I need to get to this game. That's for sure. At least I'm responsible to getting them tickets. But I'm sure Coach Beard and their families and the players that are involved at Texas Tech have the same problem that I do, which I think is great. You know, I think it's wonderful, and I'm blessed that so many people want to come to this game tomorrow, especially for me for my first time. I'm so lucky that people want to come to watch us play, and has been a part of my life, and I get to play in Dallas. Whoa, it's a storybook, but you know, I've been led everywhere, and you know, it's no shock. You know, trust me, it's no shock that we're here.
Anything else for Coach? No hands? All right, Coach, we'll let you go prepare for practice.
Tell Beard he's lucky I didn't start telling all the stories about him.
Thank you, Coach.
Hi, guys. Long time no see. All right, well, talk about this is Gary Neese. I do St. Bonaventure Radio, but talk about the experience from. Let's start from Sunday night and what's gone on the last couple of days. Not a whole lot of sleep, I would imagine.
Anybody in particular? Or
Any?
Okay, Jalen, why don't you go?
All right. It's been a fun experience. It's new to all of us, so we're just kind of taking it in as we go. It's from selection Sunday all the way up until the first game. It's all new to us, so I'm just enjoying it, and trying to not take it for granted.
Talk about has Coach Schmidt given you a little? He's had a lot of experience in going to NCAA tournaments through his coaching career and his playing career. Did he impart any words of wisdom to you?
Yeah, he kind of just told us just to take it in. More the same, just enjoy it. It's an experience that not everybody gets to have, and it's kind of extraordinary to be here. So he just lets us know to enjoy it, but at the same time that we're here to win games. So we got to take it in, but at the same time we got to focus and prepare for Florida.
Let's move to the other side of the aisle here on the right.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville's son. Jalen or Matt, what do you take from the experience of playing Florida last year in Lakeland, and can you use it as any kind of advantage in terms of tomorrow night?
I mean, we know a couple of their players already. We know a couple of their sets. We know what they like to do. But at the same time, they know what we like to do. So I think it's an equal advantage for both of us. And, we're going to go back, watch game film, watch what we did right, watch what we did wrong from last year, and take that into consideration and play tomorrow.
Matt, you've said before this, during this season, before you guys got here, that either you or Jay have to be going at some point. Yesterday in the first half, really neither one of you were, but that guy was. How important is it to have Courtney kind of emerge and really mostly the second half of the year where he's really started to produce more?
I mean, yeah, like you said, if it wasn't for this guy, we probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. So I think that's just a testament to our team. That's what makes it so dangerous. It's not just a one or two. It's not just our backcourt. We got a whole team that anybody, any given day, can go off. So we're just thankful for him, and we're hoping that he's going to continue to do this for the rest of the tournament.
Let's go in the middle, here on the right.
Gentlemen, Greg Vorst, Spectrum News out of Buffalo. All three of you guys, Syracuse, Maryland, now UCLA. You're going to be David once again when we go out there tomorrow. For all three of you, can you talk about playing that role of David versus Goliath and how much you play that up as a Bonnie when most people don't even say Olean properly?
Courtney, we'll let you answer first.
Well, I don't think we really look at it like a David and Goliath type thing. At the same time, it's a 5-on-5 game. They got to come out there and lace their shoes up just like we do. We just want to go out there and play our game and execute the way we execute.
Yeah, more of the same. We don't fear anybody really. We don't really take on that David or Goliath role. We're just coming out to play basketball. We're gonna go hard every day, and whatever happens, happens.
And we'll finish with Jalen.
Yeah, just piggybacking off what those guys said. We're not really intimidated going into the court, like Coach said. They got to lace them up just like us. So we just go out there and try to execute and defend and do what we've been doing all year.
Courtney, similar to the question that I asked Matt before, do you think in the first half of the season, as you were starting to get comfortable after being off for so long, that perhaps you deferred to those two a little too much, and then as you became more comfortable, you yourself became more assertive, more aggressive offensively?
I think my confidence just kind of rose as the season went on. Like you said, me being out for 2 years, I was kind of rusty coming out, I wanted to kind of get used to the game, kind of play off these two. And as we went further in the year, like I said, my confidence rose and I was able to, play my game a little more. And when these two can't get going, I try to be more aggressive. And when I'm more aggressive, their looks open up. And so I think that's what helped this team a lot.
Let's swing back to the right on the aisle.
For all three of you gentlemen, the defense kind of carried the weight last night. You guys led the A-10 in scoring, but it was your defense holding UCLA in check for most of the game. Is that something we need to keep relying on, knowing that the offense has scuffled a bit?
I believe so. It's something that we've hung our hat on all year is our defense. We know that we can score the ball, but the offense isn't going to be there every night. Teams are going to adjust, and the one consistent thing that we're going to have to do is defend. And I think we've been doing that lately, and it's definitely something that we got to keep doing going forward. Yeah, defense is what got us here to this point. Just like Jay said, offense isn't going to be there every day, but as long as we defend every game, we're going to give ourselves a chance at the end of the game to win. So we just got to keep defending, keep locking up, and everything else will take care of itself.
Just more of what these two guys just said. We can't really rely on our offense every night, but what we have to make sure is consistent is our defense. And if we do that, I think we can be pretty successful.
Wendell Barnhouse on The Athletic. Matt, and maybe a couple of the other two guys too, you all have been here in Dallas for 12 hours. I mean, it was flying through the night after the game, and I'm sure you would have rather done that than go back home. Sure. Did you sleep on the plane?
Yeah, I probably got like an hour and a half on the plane. We got back to the hotel, got some food, went straight to sleep. So I think everybody's well rested now, and that's not really going to be an issue. We're all excited to be here, and we're just ready to go.
From a game strategy point of view, getting ready so quickly to play Florida, did you guys do any prep work beforehand as far as who you might play? Or is this kind of like just, hey, we're just going to go into it? And is it more maybe what you guys are wanting to do than worrying about Florida?
I mean, this quick turnaround really isn't nothing new to us. I mean, we've played 3 games in 3 days before. We've had quick turnarounds all year long. So we're ready to go, and we can't use anything as an excuse. So we've actually scheduled our schedule is put in place just for this specific moment. Tournament games only have 1 day to prepare. So we're ready for it. Coach put us in a great spot, and I think we're all ready to go.
You guys have been a lot of comparison to the 1970 Final Four team. You broke the record for most wins in a season, tied a record for longest winning streak. And have you thought about the historical part of making this trip? Anybody in particular? All three.
Okay, Jalen, we'll let you go first.
It's something that we haven't really taken in yet. We understand that this is definitely a historical season. And we talk about it amongst each other, but it's one of those things that we're not satisfied, and we're not going to be satisfied till it's all said and done. So we just got to keep pushing forward, and at the end, we'll look back at it and see what we really accomplished. Yeah, I think the same thing. I think right now, we're still playing, so we're not really taking in everything that we've accomplished. But I feel like, whenever our last game is, a couple of days after that, then it'll really sink in, and we'll all realize, like, all the special things we were able to accomplish this season.
Yeah, to piggyback off what they said, we just want to kind of focus on the task at hand that we got right now. Just worry about getting Florida out the way, trying to survive in advance, and when it's all said and done, then we can look back and see what all we accomplished.
All three of you guys kind of building off of what you were just answering. This whole season, all we've talked about is get here, get to the dance, get to the dance. Just the other day, the elation of getting to the dance. How do you not settle for getting to the dance and knowing you have so much more that could be out there tomorrow?
I think we just got to continue to keep that chip on our shoulder, continue to focus on what we got ahead of us and not get complacent.
I mean, like you said, this has been a goal for us all year. And, now that we're here, it's not like we just want to stop now. I mean, we always say we didn't come this far just to come this far. So, we got to keep going. And now we're here, we got to make the most of it.
Jalen, we'll let you wrap it up.
Yeah, I'd say that it's something that we expected going into the season. It's something that we spoke into existence, that we'd be here. So getting here for us was definitely a goal, but it wasn't the final goal. So I'm just looking forward to going out there and competing and finishing the season on a high note.
Okay, guys, thank you for coming. You had practice in addition to all the travel you've done, so thank you for being with us, and good luck. Appreciate it. Thank you. Coach Mark Schmidt. Coach, welcome to Dallas. I know it's been an effort getting here in more ways than one, so thank you for being here with us.
It's an exciting time, and we're glad to be here. We had a great flight, 2 a.m. Best flight I've ever had at 2 a.m. But it's been great, and really looking forward to the challenge of competing against Florida tomorrow night.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Let's go to questions. I think our first one will be here on your right, on the outside aisle.
Adam Grossbard, Dallas Morning News. Mark, there's been a pattern of some teams in recent years riding a first four win all the way, sometimes Sweet 16 or more. How do you think that can give you momentum going forward?
Yeah, I think, the first game is always difficult. You have this first game jitters, and we had them last night. But I doubt that we're going to have them again. I would think that Florida would have more jitters than we have. Plus, as you said, we're coming off a victory. We have momentum. Our guys are feeling good about themselves. And like I said, they've already played a game, and I think that's to our advantage. The disadvantage is, not having time to prepare, the short turnaround, the travel and all that. But as I told our team, when you're 18 to 22 years old, you better not be tired. You can, when you're dead, that's when you can rest. Our guys aren't dead yet. So we're just going to play and see what happens.
In the middle here on the left.
Coach Wendell Barnhouse with The Athletic. Going off the preparation and the fact that obviously very short turnaround, how did you guys handle that? Did you do any early prep work on perhaps playing Florida? And Matt said that you guys are prepared, play 3 games in 3 days, but I doubt seriously with a 2.5-hour flight in between.
Yeah, one of my assistants had Florida, and we share those scouts, and so once the game was over, he gave me what he had on Florida, and then I watched some tape on the plane. When I got to my hotel room, I watched more tape, and I'll watch more tape when we get out of here. But I think preparation is important, but I think sometimes at this time of year, you're going to do what you do. You're going to do what you do best. Florida's going to do what they do best. There's not going to be a lot of changes. So you watch tape and you find tendencies and stuff that they run and how you want to guard it. But for the most part, you're more worried about yourself. And for us, it's more important for us to get rest than it is to be out on the court preparing. We had a walkthrough already, for an hour and a half. We watched tape on Florida. We'll go back after this, after our shoot around, and do a little bit more. But it's more for us. It's more about getting our guys' legs back, and then just doing more mental stuff, walking through, rather than doing some physical stuff.
Next question on Coach's left.
Hey, Coach, talk about the travel that Bonner fans have done for you this year. Washington, D.C. last weekend, going to Dayton, playing Tuesday night, and it looks like the crowd is shifting to Dallas as we speak here tonight. Yeah,
we have a great fan base. In my opinion, we got, we may not have the biggest fan base, but we got the most passionate fan base in America. We have 29,000 alums, and it feels like wherever we go, there's 29,000 alums with us. Basketball is a huge thing at Bonaventure. We got great tradition, and there's great passion. If you saw the game last night, it's the Rally Center where we play at home. Dayton Arena became the Rally Center last night. Our fans are tremendous, and we wouldn't be here without their support. And it's amazing to me. I've been the head coach for 11 years, and wherever we go, no matter where it is, we have Bonaventure people there supporting us, and it makes us proud.
Coach, your offense, the best in the A-10 this season, but it's been your defense that took you from D.C. to Dayton to Dallas for the alliteration. Can you talk about just the guys stepping up and really locking in on that side of the ball, and how important that will be?
Yeah, we had a 10-2 non-conference record. We had some really good wins against Syracuse and Maryland, Buffalo, and then when we started our conference, I think we got a little bit soft and forgot that defense was a part of the game. We started to conference at 2-4, and we were picked to have a really good year and picked second, I think, in the Atlantic 10. And after we were 2-4, we came back to campus and sat down as a team and talked about how it's offense is fickle. It's going to be there one day, not the next. It's defense has to be the staple, and our guys have really done a really good job of focusing on the defensive end. Early in the conference, if we had scored 65 points, we would have lost. But last night, the way we played defense was the reason why we won, and that's carried us. We've won. I think we're 14-1 in the last 15 or something like that. And that's in those, and we had won 13 straight. And over that period, it was our defense that carried us. Our veteran guys understood. Our young guys followed suit, and that's why we're here. We have a really good offensive team. We average 80 points a game, but it's our defense that has gotten us here.
We'll stay here on the right.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville. Mark, the value of having a senior backcourt, and particularly guys that are talented, and what makes them both special and unique and Mobley Adams?
We're really lucky. I'm really lucky. Any coach, you talk to any coach in America, and what they want is a backcourt. You win with guards, and it's the reason why we're here. Jay and Matt have been tremendous for us. Jay is the quarterback. I'm a big Patriots fan, and he's our Tom Brady. He runs the show. And Matt is plays off of him. They both can score at all three levels. They have a really good feel. They don't get sped up, and they hit big shots. Even last night, both Matt and Jay struggled, but Matt hit big shots at the end. Jay was 1 for 15, I think, and hit that big shot, that pull up. They're not afraid to take that big shot. They're not afraid to have the ball in their hands. They're not afraid to make a play, and that any coach would tell you that's what you want in your guards, and that's what we have.
Point. How do you view their matchup with Florida guards, guys that have been there before, guys like Chiozza?
Yeah, it's we played Florida last year down at Florida, and we lost by I think 2 or 3. So our guys know who they're playing, and the Florida guards are really talented, and we understand. Florida is a really good team, very well coached, talented, long. Very different than UCLA. UCLA's big guys were skilled. Florida's guys are really athletic and long. In their guards, they shoot the ball well from threes. They can take you off the bounce. They space you out. So we got a big challenge ahead of us, being able to guard them on the perimeter, but also dealing with their size and length inside.
Wendell Barthouse with The Athletic. You mentioned Jalen and Matt struggling last night. The fact that you guys won despite that, does that make you feel kind of good, assuming that they're not going to have another bad game, 2 back-to-back games, and being seniors and knowing that, they're not going to worry about having a bad game?
Yeah, I've always said, basketball is played with 5 guys, and our guards get a lot of attention, and rightfully so. But it takes 5 guys, role guys playing their roles, and Courtney Starkey, you saw him last night. He scores 26, and when Jay and Matt aren't playing up to their capabilities, you need somebody else to step up, and on a good team, somebody else does step up, and we've had that. Jay and Matt didn't play great every game this year. And when they didn't, we had somebody else, Idris Tackey or Courtney or Nelson or Ladarian, step up, and that's a sign of a good team, and that's why we're here. It's just not a 2-man team. It's 5 guys working together and picking each other up. And Jay and Matt didn't have the game that we were accustomed of seeing from them, but we had other guys step up and make plays, and that's why I'm sitting here tonight.
Let's move to the other side of the aisle.
Coach, the community around you the whole season has talked about getting to the big dance. You're at the big dance. You got a win under your belt. How do you make sure the guys aren't satisfied and don't settle, for lack of a better term, with what you've already done, knowing there could be so much more?
Yeah, it's we're not satisfied, and if you listen to those guys, and they were up here, we have goals just like everybody else, and our goal wasn't just to get to the NCAA tournament. Our goal was to advance, just like every team that's in this this tournament. You know, we have veteran guys, you know, and I've always said that you're only as good as your seniors, and we have 3 seniors that don't want this thing to end. And they're going to do everything in their power to play as well as they can so they can advance until Saturday. So there's no concern from on my end that we're satisfied. Our guys are driven, they're competitors. They competed last night, and I expect them to compete against Florida, excuse me, against Florida and play well. You know, there's no, you know, we're comfortable. We've had a good season, and we want to continue to win. And you know, we didn't come down here to give Florida a good game. We came down here to compete and win.
Closing questions now for Coach Schmidt. Anything else? All right, Coach, we'll let
Okay.
you go.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Good
Appreciate
to
it.
see you.